Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to another I Tell Eats and Treats video where we prioritize health and longevity. Please excuse me if my voice sounds a little rough. It is currently midnight and I'm working. I'm trying my hardest to find a better work-life balance when it comes to owning my own business and working for myself. Just bear with me, take time. I started off my day with some delicious coconut water. This is one of the best ways to hydrate and really get your system flowing, especially after you wake up and you're breaking your fast. You are sleeping for literally 8 hours and you're dehydrated when you wake up. So you have to make sure you hydrate well by the time you wake up. I decided to also break my fast with the very delicious fruit salad. In Atlanta and most of the US, it's very hot at this point in time. Summer is officially here. Watermelon is officially here. And no, I do not like watermelon because I'm black. I love it because it's good for you. Actually, literally, I used to hate watermelon growing up. I didn't think it tasted like anything and I just didn't like it. But now as an adult, and especially someone who likes to eat a primarily alkaline, always plant-based diet, I love to eat this. It's so good for you. It's so hydrating. It's full of electrolytes. It helps to boost your libido. It literally has a whole heap of health benefits. Why would I not eat this amazing fruit?
Yeah, alright. Check. I had to hit that slide out so these niggas know me. And I've been in my hideout. Had to pump that, get that thump back. Hello, 1, 2 step, I run that, get that boom bap dumping. Make your mind step to the side and make your soul run to sing.
So I had the choice to use coconut milk because I have a coconut over there that I was just gonna break open and make coconut milk with, but I'm using hemp seed milk because it's already made, so I don't need to make any more milk. This is very, very, very high in protein. It's one of the few plant milks that's actually very high in protein that is not soy milk, because soy milk is made with beans. These are made with hemp hearts. I use half of a cup of hemp hearts to make this. So per serving, I think there's about like over 10 grams of protein in just like a cup or a cup and a half of this milk. So I'm gonna use this to make my porridge more filling and more protein rich and have more healthy omegas, healthy fats, and just more nutritious.
If you are interested in the hemp seed milk recipe or this quinoa porridge recipe that I'm about to make, you can go ahead and check out my website, itelleatsandtreats.com, and all of the recipes in this video will also be linked in the description box. So this is my first ever time testing this recipe and making quinoa porridge. In Jamaica, we have so many different types of porridge. We have cornmeal porridge, hominy corn porridge, oats porridge. We even have something called carrot porridge. We have plantain porridge, green banana porridge, literally so many different types of porridge, bulgur porridge. But we don't have quinoa porridge, but mostly because quinoa is not very popular in Jamaica. It doesn't really grow in Jamaica. I would say the closest thing is probably like bulgur. But quinoa is very delicious and a lot more accessible than bulgur for people in the States and Canada. So I wanted to make this recipe and keep it alkaline, and my oh my, was it absolutely delicious. Super easy to make, and I think it's also great for people who are not the biggest fans of oatmeal, and also because oatmeal is not necessarily alkaline. If you want to have a nice porridge that is also alkaline, this quinoa porridge is for you. I promise. It's so good, it's so easy to make, and it's just incredible. I do have to ask, what is you all's favorite breakfast recipe? Because one of my favorite breakfasts growing up as a Jamaican kid was definitely oats porridge, and now as an adult, I would say probably one of my favorite breakfasts or a way to break my fast is just a nice bowl of fruit or like a fruit juice, to be honest. But if we're talking about like an actual steady meal, I'm not too sure. Maybe a porridge. A nice hot bowl of porridge is delicious. It's just so easy to make. It's so nourishing. It's so filling. I always broke open a coconut and use fresh coconut milk as opposed to canned coconut milk. So the health benefits in my porridge are very top tier and supreme.
I think one of the hardest parts about being a food blogger is that I have to cook for like hours and hours, or in this case, like for almost an hour to get the perfect shots. Sorry if there's pizzas of quinoa in my mouth, by the way, but I have to make sure I get the perfect shots, the perfect videos, the perfect pictures and everything before I can take a bite, because I don't want to mess up any of the pictures or anything. So I think like an hour after making sure I get pictures of every single step, I can finally eat. In reality, this dish would probably take like 15 minutes, but when you are developing a recipe, like photographing and videographing every step of the way, you do not get to eat until a while later. But I'm so excited to eat this. I mean, just look at it. It looks so good. This is gonna keep me full for hours. Bon appetit!
Okay, so for lunch, I'm actually opting for something very simple because this entire day was basically like very recipe testing heavy. I had to do the quinoa porridge, and then I also have to do another recipe which you'll see me make later on for dinner. So I just wanted my lunch to be very simple and very easy. Nothing that I have to do photography with or heavy videography. Just whip out the camera, cook, sit on and eat. So I was craving some tomato soup. I had gotten a huge box of cherry tomatoes. I am loving cherry tomatoes lately. They're so good. They're alkaline, they're delicious, they're sweet, they roast well, they taste them yum nice, them eat nice. They taste so good. I have yet to decide whether or not this recipe will be on my website, but if it's not on the website, it will be in the description box. Do not worry. I wanted to keep this simple with simple ingredients and simple flavors, but really bring out the natural flavors of everything. So I'm using stuff like oregano, thyme, salt, black pepper, whole heap of something. It just tasted so good. Sometimes less is more when it comes to ingredients, especially really fresh ingredients. And I know people don't like to use salt. I do like to use a little bit of salt to really bring out the flavor, but of course enough to just keep it ital. So to make this meal a bit more satiating and satisfying, because of course a bowl of tomato soup is not gonna fill up my belly, I chose to do some black beans and butternut squash roasted in the oven. I have been loving sheet pan meals. They are so easy to make. They are so time efficient. You literally just season everything up on one pan, chuck it in the oven and walk away and do your thing. I literally love them. However, when the weather gets hotter and it's boiling outside, sometimes we might feel adverse to making sheet pan meals, but you can always eat them cold. It's up to you. However, I will always be continuing to eat soup and eat sheet pan meals in the summertime, because if Jamaican people can eat soup when outside is 100 degrees every day, then I can do a sheet pan meal in the summertime. I promise.
What's good? You're looking like my wife. Yeah. Maybe you can give me some information and tell me what you like. Yeah. Living on the edge of my pride now. Something about your smile, it just made me fall in love. Shit, and I don't know your name. Who that man you came with? Do he speak your language? I don't know if he do shit, and I don't know if he's right. So I approached my lady, she said bye. I got a man, and I'm his wife. She showed embrace.
So that was incredible. It was an incredibly delicious and easy meal, and now I have leftovers for the next few days, so it's also awesome for meal prep. It gave me a lot of energy, but I've just been really tired lately because I've been working really hard and I'm still recovering from school. So now, since I have the summer off, I actually have time to catch up on my sleep. So I took a really nice nap, watched some YouTube, laid out on the couch, and I feel awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and make my very last meal of the day, which is going to be a delicious plantain curry. I've decided to use coconut cream instead of like my regular coconut milk that I broke open the coconut, because I'm basing this off of a dish that I actually got when I was in Philadelphia. If you're interested in the recipe, it is on my website, italeatsandtreats.com.
So for dinner, we're doing something that is completely new to my website, completely new to the blog, but it tastes incredible. This curry plantain or plantain curry, whichever way you say it, from your island or from your culture or for whatever, this was so incredibly delicious. It was just easy to make, and oh my goodness, I'm still reminiscing about it now. Even my mom said it looked delicious and it tastes delicious. It's just so good, so easy to make, and I'm thinking about it right now and I'm hungry. So I decided to use some burro bananas. Burro bananas are alkaline and they actually have seeds in them. So when I find them and when I'm able to get my hands on them, I like to use them in place of plantain or in place of green banana. But of course, if you'd rather use green banana, you can use green banana. If you'd rather use plantain, you can use plantain. I decided to use a burro banana that was a bit less on the sweet side because I feel like the sweetness would be a bit too overpowering. But the stage of these burro bananas was actually perfect. It was a perfect sweetness and perfect texture and everything for this recipe. So for people out there wanting to make this recipe, I would say go for a bit more of an unsweet plantain, a bit more for an unsweet plantain and a bit more for a lesser ripe plantain so that it can cook properly without turning into a mush. But like I mentioned before, the flavors from this curry plantain were so complex and so delicious because I decided to burn my curry. Burning curry is a Jamaican tradition where you're not necessarily burning anything, you're just toasting your seasoning, your curry seasoning specifically, in some oil, and it really brings out the flavor, depthens the flavor, and it prevents the curry from making your belly hurt. So this is the life of a food blogger. After I made the curry plantain, I actually did not eat much of it because it was already really late and I wanted something a bit more simple as opposed to like a complex meal, which would have been the curry with some beans, some quinoa. So I ate just a couple of nibbles of that, but what I was really craving was some of this delicious and light vanilla hummus. This is also linked in the description box and on my website if you're interested. It's so good. I wish I had my hands on some of this now. So I chopped up some apple slices, got some strawberries and some blueberries and some walnuts and dipped that in there, and that was basically how I ended off my day. I wanted to keep it real with you all because this is just the life of a food blogger. When it is your job to make a whole heap of different recipes, this is what it will be sometimes. Sometimes you eat a couple of bites of the food that you cook and you save it for the next day, which is what I did on this night, and other times you might be craving something else, so I wanted to show you all this. That's all for today. If you like the content that you see, be sure to give it a like and leave a comment down below and hit the subscribe button. I'll see you all on the next video. Thank you all for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. Bye!